Hey friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Monday Ciotti. That was supposed to be horizon locked, but it's not. So I need to run that back through Real Steady Go and figure out what the hell happened. So hold on. The last smooth file isn't quite right. I'll fix it after my live stream ends at midnight. I literally just finished these files up and told the client to download them. And I didn't have a chance to proof them. Usually Real Steady Go is really, really good. And I usually don't... I always proof the stuff. I always proof the stabilized files. But man, Real Steady gets it dead on the money, like 98% of the time, I would say. But every once in a while, I have to drop a keyframe in to get the gyro data lined up properly with the video. I don't know why that happens. It's kind of weird. Welcome to... It's Monday night, and we're going to do some things. We are going to take the Matrix build that I did, and we're going to turn it into a cinematic... An analog cinematic... I have to hold this upside down because the screws are in the frame and I don't want them to fall out. Analog cinematic 65mm 1S whoop with the CO3 camera. New year, new RC drift chasing location. Perfect. 04, the 04 build, which you've probably seen already from the one edit that went up. Oh, son of a bitch. I was supposed to put the other edit up on Saturday, but instead I spent the entire day in absolute and utter despair. I guess this Saturday, the other 04 RC Drift edit will go up. Patrons, you'll get an early flarp edit in the flip schlom. Because I think it already exists. Where the hard drive go? Where did the gangly gang hard drive go? That's alarming. Is it? So, oh, it's not there. So I hooked up the new 2 8TB hard drives showed up today. They're a lot faster. They're Toshibas. They are a lot faster than the 12TB Western Digital that I have. The 12 terabyte Western Digital is the one that just disappeared. And the slower enclosure showed up today. This enclosure is exactly the same speed as like the $20 toaster enclosure that I've been using, the enclosure that did not fail. The 4-drive enclosure that did fail is going in the dumpster forever. So yeah, this new slower enclosure, it's not Thunderbolt, is no faster than this cheapo enclosure, which is totally fine. This enclosure that I got is made by OWC, which I've heard good things about. And the enclosure works fine, but the cable that they sent with it, which has that wacky USB plug that it's like a square and then it's like a little trapezoid thing above it, the cable that they sent is garbage, and I'm assuming that the cable is what unplugged here. So hold on, let me. Here, you'll see. You'll see if it pops up on the right side of the screen. So this is me wiggling the plug and pushing it in harder, and hopefully, the 2 hard drives that are in that enclosure will pop back up here. I might need to power cycle the enclosure, I guess. But yeah, I need to get. I have a little stash of cables. I'm hoping that I have a USB cable with that wacky end on it. If not, I'm gonna have to order one, which is kind of annoying. I'm tempted to return the goddamn thing, but I already it's not like a hot swappable drive, and so I already took the time to like put the drives in there and get the wires all clean and screw them all down, and so it's kind of it's also a really short cable. It's too short of a cable, so screw that. Well, let's try power cycling it and see if they will come back. Yeah, I used it wasn't working at all, and then I used the cable from the other enclosure, plugged it in, and it popped right up on the desktop. So that was cool. I'm excited that these 8 terabyte drives are quite a bit faster than the 12, because that'll hopefully fix some of the stuttering problems. Hey, here they are. That'll hopefully fix some of the stuttering problems. You know, I've got the SSD hard drive that's obviously like outrageously fast, but it's only 1 terabyte, and so like the workflow that I try to maintain is to dump everything onto that drive and then do whatever I need to do and then move that onto the bigger drives. But once that drive fills up, I get lazy and I start just dumping stuff onto the spinning drives, and you know, kind of is what it is. But yeah, I wish there was a somewhat cheap SSD solution. That the problem is it would have to be like at least 2, but realistically like 4 terabytes, and it's just expensive to do that. But I've been pretty good lately about keeping a little bit of free space on that SSD drive, so that I can throw footage in there and then edit from that. It's just like when I try to play footage at the beginning and the end of these live streams that's like kind of random, sometimes some older stuff, and that's living on the 12 terabyte drive. So I'll be able to push most of that onto these 8 terabyte drives that are a lot faster, and so hopefully that'll cut down or stop that stuttering. We'll see. But yeah, I've got storage again, which is nice. As soon as this live stream is over, I will be copying well, not the entire, but a massive chunk of the 12 terabyte Gangly Gang drive onto one of these 8 terabyte drives, so that I again am backed up in 2 places. So as long as Gangly Gang, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna put that out into the universe. Nope. Everything's going to be fine for the next 2 hours. In the chat, Frank thought this was first. McMucus, CMYKFPV, Capital C, Johnny V, Spaceman Spiff, Northern Tier, Rays, CMYK again, Skull901, Alley Cat, Every Day with Bruno, Craig, Captain FPV, Uriel, Andrew Taylor, Sleepy CBR. So good to have Sleepy CBR back around, man. Uriel, Frosty, Flycadelic, Scotty Scott, Metal Dirtskin, Shoot FPV, Chris Mel, Matthew Wegner, Fizz PV, Hendrix Freakazoid, Craig, Skull901 again, Uriel again. YouTube just did the thing. I don't know where I was. Dave S. Himox Render. Maybe I got everybody. Metal Dirtskin. I think I got everybody. If I didn't, I'll get you next time, I promise. Doubles FPV. Thanks for coming, friends. Yeah. If you want to talk directly to me, type CiottiFPV into your chat comment and it'll light up an orange. You can do that with each other. If you want to get Uriel's attention in your chat message, type Uriel and spell it right. And for Uriel, his own name will light up an orange. You can try that out. Type your own name and you'll see it lights up an orange. It's not that exciting, but if you're dying to know what it looks like, there you go. Every Day with Bruno tagged me and said, don't they have a new analog camera coming out? I have no idea. Who's they? Betafpv? I have no clue. I'm looking forward to trying out the Runcam Nano 8. Is it? Is it 8? It came back in stock on TinyWhoop. Let's just search for Runcam. There won't be that many. 7. The Runcam Nano 7. It's got the holes in it, like the Runcam Nano 3 and like the FXT camera. I have a funny feeling that this is the FXT camera. I could totally be wrong. I kind of hope that I am wrong, because the more camera options that we have that have these holes in the corners, so that we can mount them in the awesome old school Mobile 6 canopies, the better. But yeah, this looks an awful lot like the FXT camera. It's got a plug on it, which is great. So yeah, this might be the camera. But I'm not just gonna order this. I'm gonna wait until there's I'm gonna wait until the 300 mAh and the 450 mAh BT 3.0 short cable batteries are back in stock, so that I can get a couple of them. And yeah, that'll be my TinyWhoop order for the month. Speaking of, hold on, let's just check it. I'm pretty sure I have the thing set up for them to send me an email, but let's just check. So here's the 450. Yeah, see, so the short cable is out of stock. The short cable 450 I'm super interested in, and then of course the 300s everyone on Earth is interested in. So yeah, just waiting for them to come back in stock. Oh, let me pause this. There we go. Cool. Uriel says 2 CiottiFPV GJ GK. CMYK says LOL OBS. Craig says now the fun starts. Uriel says I cannot promise soon. I hope I can help. All right. Oh, YouTube did the thing. Scrolling back up. Uriel says talk to the Continuum, but first your best friend, your shoulder angel. Hey, I don't know why that reminded me of this, but so at the hang on, I gotta launch Discord. I don't know why Discord wasn't running, but alas, here we are. Come on. Hey, shout outs to people that have joined the Patreon. Lancelot Lala, thank you for joining the Patreon. Welcome to the Gangly Gang. Sam S, welcome to the gangliest of gangs. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the support, my friend. Matthew Wegner, I'm pretty sure this happened during a live stream, but in case it didn't happen during a live stream, Matthew Wegner, thank you so much for the super generous PayPal from back on February 9th. I'm usually pretty good about deleting emails as I go through them, and this one I had not deleted, so I wanted to make sure that you got a shout out. Super, super, super generous PayPal, man. Thank you. The note that he left was, I've been getting back into 65mm whoops lately and really enjoying the streams. Been working my way through the archive too. Hope these buckaroos help a use. Thank you so much, brother. Super, super, super generous, man. Michael Jones, thank you for joining the Patreon. Mr. Stapo, thank you, friend, and welcome to the gang, people. Wait, and I think I saw Discord pop up. There we go. So here's Discord, and I want to come in here to Toothpick and Whoop, and this is where I posted asking for... Is it? No. Where was I asking? Oh, in Patron Hangout. This is where I was asking for your guys' help. So Tiny Whoop is very kindly flying me out to the Tiny Whoop Open this year. April 26th and 27th in Colorado. So if you can make it to it, I will be there and we can hang. I need a little bit of help here, though. I think I know what we're gonna do. I'm just like looking for ideas. If you want to post in Patreon Hangout over on my Discord, that's awesome. If you want to just tag me in the chat tonight, that's totally fine too. We want to do a freestyle thing. Like, we want to do like a freestyle competition, but without the competition. So like, I don't want there to be like a winner and a second place and a third place and a fourth place. I want it to be something that's basically like not competitive. And like the only real thing that comes to mind is some kind of like a scavenger hunt. Like, I want it to be challenging, but I don't want it to be like only 10 people can accomplish it. I want it to be challenging in a way that anybody can do it if they put time into it. And so the thing that comes to my mind, which is probably what we'll do, is some sort of a scavenger hunt where like we hide stuff that you have to find, and you have to find them with a whoop. And and so like just doing it as that is kind of insane, because then like, how do you check it, right? Like, how do you check that? Maybe we have like a secret code on the things and you have to fly up to it and get the secret code. Or my other idea is it's a scavenger hunt, but you have to hit all of those things in one battery, right? Like, regardless of the Tiny Whoop, you should be able to have at least like 2 minutes of runtime. And so what that does is so like by having a secret code on the things that we hide, you get the secret codes, you DVR it or whatever, or you remember them and you write them down. And then, you have all these secret codes written down on a piece of paper and you turn it in and you get whatever. The problem with that is if one person does it, they can just show it to all the other people. Not that they would do that, because that then, I don't know. By having it be like in one single battery, you have to fly up to each one of these things. Everybody has to plan a route, and they have to try to plan like an efficient route to get between all of them. The less runtime they've got, the more efficient of a route that they have to plan. So that's kind of fun, right? Like, you have to figure out like, oh, well, this is, I mean, I'm kind of spoiling the surprise here, but basically you would want to do it elevation based. You would want to fly up to the highest elevation thing first, and then the next lowest elevation and the next lowest. If we put them at all different elevations and you go to the low one and then the high one and then the low one and the high one and the low one and the high one, you're not going to make it unless you have an efficient whoop, right? So that would basically be the challenge would be to, or you could do it other way, right? Do the low ones and then gradually go up higher and higher and higher. So those are the two things that I thought of for like a freestyle thing that's not necessary. And like in there, we could say like you have to power loop something. Basic tricks, couple of basic tricks, right? I don't think split S is too hard, right? Split S something, you have to power loop something. And so then everybody, and you have to do it in one single battery. So you show up to the judges or whatever, and you have DVR on your goggles, and you hand the judges your goggles and hit play, and they have to watch it, and they have to watch you do the power loop, the split S, find all the scavenger hunt items, and then you're good to go. This way, you know, we only have to watch 2 or 3 or 4 minutes from each person, but that is going to build up. Like, that is going to be a lot. Like, a piece of paper with secret codes written on it is a lot easier, right? So yeah, that was those were my 2 thoughts. What do you, now that I've kind of described what we're trying to do, what like freestyle competition could there be that would be fun that doesn't have any that's not so competitive, right? That like realistically everybody can win, regardless of if they've been flying for a couple of months or a couple of years, right? Any ideas? Tag me. Make sure you tag me with any ideas you got. If it's something big that you want to type out, CiottiFPV.com. There's a link to the Discord channel, and then Patreon Hangout is where we're kind of having this discussion. Or just direct message me or whatever. So yeah, there you go. Come see me and or help me figure out what kind of a freestyle competition we can have that's not competitive. Where was I in chat here? No, we got that. Craig says, when's your birthday? We could chip in and get you a 4 terabyte NVMe with fast enclosure. My birthday's actually coming up. My birthday's on April 17th. What does that kind of thing cost? Just out of curiosity. Is NVMe that wacky shit where it's basically taking like sticks of RAM and just putting them into an enclosure? Now that I've been looking around with hard drive stuff, I'm starting to see things. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Raze says, how is anything from our childhood cinematic? What? How is anything from our childhood cinematic? I'm assuming that's a reference to the fact that analog video looks like the video that we recorded in our childhood. And so, I think I have an answer for you. I think the answer is the analog edits that I've done towards the end of the year last year. So that would mean this was a walk snail edit. So that would mean this one and this one. So I think this is the answer to your question. I think the answer to your question is this link, which I'm putting into chat right now. And easy, share, copy, and that link. I think those 2 are pretty cinematic. I'm personally invested in them though, so I'm the one that has the biggest reason to lie, but let me know. Let me know if you think those are cinematic. Hopefully that answers your question, if it was a question. If I understood the question, I should say. Craig says, no BT3 300 mAh on... Captain FPV says, I was really digging the little printed camera screw tabs that are on the BI camera with the new Hummingbird V4. Printed cam... Yeah. The Hummingbird V4 uses a camera that doesn't have any screw mounting, the BI camera. And they created this really slick 3D print that wraps all the way around the camera and then has chunks of TPU on either side that you can thread M2 screws into. Really, really nice little setup. Kind of a heavy setup. You know, that I dropped on my Hummingbird V4. I dropped a full gram by going to the BriBrain camera mount. And I kind of recommend that you guys do it too. But if you're going to use if you have a reason to use a NewbieDrone BI camera in a canopy that has screws on the side, like if you're building a toothpick or something like that where a gram doesn't really matter, yeah, that's which, to be honest, that Goober canopy, that new Goober canopy with the screw mounts and the hugely adjustable up tilt, that would be kind of perfect on a toothpick, because you can change that up tilt all the hell you want, and it's still pretty. It's going to be, that setup is going to be lighter than using like a full-bodied camera with screw mounts in it. And so if you're doing, or like if you're just trying to stick with all NewbieDrone stuff, right? if you're doing like a newbie drone toothpick, you can run their canopy and their BI camera, and you've got that, you know, what's that called? Brand loyalty. You've got that brand loyalty going on. So yeah, speaking of, the Hummingbird V4 is amazing. I've flown it a couple of times off the live stream, and I can't believe how good it is for $80. They really did a great job. I mean, the biggest thing is the fact that they figured out how to make the video look better. The video quality looks like every other rig with the giant OSD chip on it. So that's huge. Not needing to use that massive OSD chip on these tiny little AIOs is a really big deal. So yeah, good job, newbie drone. Raised FPV says, do some 1S batteries. I put them in storage mode. Sometimes just end up at 0 volts when plugged in. Is this a thing? It happened with like 2 of my batteries over the last month. That's usually not a thing. I mean, it certainly can happen. But the Tiny Whoop batteries are kind of like volatile, for lack of a better word. But don't leave them plugged in. What I'm guessing is happening when you say plugged in, I think you're saying that you're leaving them plugged into your charger. What I'm assuming is happening is that the charger is, you're turning off the power source to the charger, and then the batteries are like powering the charger basically. So don't leave batteries plugged in. Like, put them on the charger. When they're done, take them off the charger and just let them sit. Never leave them plugged into anything. And hopefully that'll stop happening. 2 in a month is a lot. I'll have like 2 a year have that happen. They'll just die. So yeah. Alley Cat says, how are you feeling today? Not great. This is March can go to hell. This has been a really, really rough month for me, mental health wise. But you know, April is in a couple days, and maybe it'll be better. I don't know. I've slowly gotten myself almost completely off of any and all social media. I have to be on Instagram, but I have like unfollowed everyone that posts things that are even remotely political. So that's been helping. But yeah, I don't know. It's just sometimes my brain just shits its pants, and it takes a while to recover. It was really, really, really bad a couple weeks ago. But it's been, I'm not going to say that it's been a little bit better every day, because it doesn't work like that. There'll be like a good day, and then there'll be a couple shit days. And so like it is kind of doing this, but it does this, right? It's not actually like this. It's that, and then that, and then that, and then that, and like, so if you average it out, yeah, sure, it's doing that. But yeah, mental illness can go fuck itself. It's just the goddamn worst. So if you also struggle with it, hey, we're in this together. Let's keep going as long as we possibly can. You know, that's all we can really do. Uriel says you had a divine download. Yes. FizzPV says, sent you a DM on Discord. I think I got it. Didn't I? No, I didn't. I got one of them from a couple days ago. I'll take a look after the stream. Matthew Wagner says, print QR codes, submit DVR frames with code in view. Oh. Oh! How would that work? Print QR codes, submit DVR frames with code in view. So people would have to pull the DVR onto a computer, I'm assuming, and then screenshot it, right? I don't think we can expect everybody to have a laptop with them. QR codes are a fucking interesting idea, though. I wonder if the analog cameras are even crisp enough for that to work. It's a super interesting idea. Kazuma says you could think about it like Pokemon Snap. People would have things in the DVR like more than one. I'm not familiar with. Wait, is Pokemon Snap the Nintendo 64 game? The Nintendo 64 photography game? Things in the DVR like more than one. Tell me more, Kazuma. I'm not quite picking up what you're laying down. Tell me more. Pretend like you're explaining it to an 8-year-old. That's what I usually say. Adam says, second the QR codes. Tell me more about the QR code thing. I feel like I'm missing something. Craig says, idea, micro liftoff balloon pop in some order. I mean, that would be super cool, but I'm not convinced that a tiny whoop would pop a balloon, and then we're gonna have people taping pins to the front of them, and then like it's gonna be a lot of balloons. I mean, that would be super cool. Don't get me wrong, but I that might end up in someone having a needle in their eyeball. Oh, Matthew Wagner says there are QR code variants with much fewer bits and larger blocks for more redundancy. We would need to do that. Be a fun computer vision project to auto-judge a DVR fit. Nice. What else is happening here? Mo FPV's in the chat. What's up, homie? He says, yo, dude, can you recommend me your favorite prop popper? I need to pick one up. Broke my original one. My absolute favorite is the clone popper. It's got this. My favorite thing about it is the forks are really thin. The forks on this are the same thing as the forks on the all metal one on Tiny Whoop. The all metal one is quite a bit more expensive though. This one, the chrome popper. So either the chrome popper or the clone popper. These are my favorites, and it's basically because the forks are so thin. The problem with both of these is that the forks are really thin. And so if you have a propeller that's like really stuck and you put this one and you start cranking on this, you can not easily. You have to really crank on this to break these forks. But you absolutely can break these forks. So just don't crank on this. Like if you ever have a propeller that's really stuck, don't go cranking on this thing and breaking the forks. If you can only have one, I think it's just called prop popper. Yeah. If that, oh my God, I'm wrong. The chrome popper is less than the clone popper. Okay. Well, then maybe I don't know. Both of these are great, and they have the thin forks. Whichever one you want. This one comes in a cool little case that looks like a milk bottle. This one has the nice little 3D printed arms. They're both great. These are my favorites. This is the OG prop popper. This has forks that are not as thin at the tip, but they're way stronger. And so for $18, this is your prop popper for when there's a propeller that's really fucking stuck. The other thing that's really cool about this OG one is that it fits in the really cool custom FPV kit box, which has room for extra propellers. So, in my opinion, you should get this. Oh, it's all sold out. Damn it. You should bug custom. If you message custom FPV on Instagram, he will probably print you and sell you one of these. And then they've got a bunch of room for extra propellers. You put your OG prop popper in there, and then you have a really cool on-the-go little setup. And then it's also your propeller popper for when they're really stuck and you don't want to break your thin forked one. And then, yeah, so snag the OG one and then snag one of these, and you've got all of your bases covered. And then print out a Propodial. If you don't have access to a 3D printer, buy something from my Etsy store. I'm putting prop poppers in with every single thing that ships out. And there you go. Between this guy and this guy and the old school prop popper, there will never be a propeller that you can't get off safely. Speaking of things that are shipping out, because of the head douche in charge, it looks like the Postal Service is about to do something, because they are not picking up any of my packages from the mailbox. They didn't pick them up on Saturday. They didn't pick them up today. I'm going to wait a little bit longer because I've already paid for the postage that's on a bunch of these. But yeah, I don't know. Just yet another nightmare today. You know, there'll be a fresh new nightmare from these assholes tomorrow. And so good luck to us all. I don't know. I just, it's hard watching the world burn, man. It really is. It really, really, really is, for no reason. Not for no reason. For a very tiny percentage of people to make an unfathomable amount of money. So yeah. Brent Anderson says, last drone flying, contact encouraged. I mean, the problem with that is that the tiny whoops are all so durable that they would all still be up at the end of 3 or 5 minutes. Not all, but most of them would be. King Dingling says, you'll have to have 2 classes because the digital rigs will find all the things first. Yeah, but the digital rigs won't have shit for flight time. So even though they'll be able to find the things, well, so that you don't have only one. Here's the thing, right? You don't just have one battery to find it. You can spend 10 batteries finding all of the things. You have to fly up to each, and then you got to remember where they are. You have to have one battery where you fly up to each one of the hidden things, right? And so there's actually no advantage to digital. I mean, it would make the whole thing, it would make it easier to find them, that's for sure. But, yeah. Craig says, will your event be live streamed? We can't all fly there. No. There's just, I've tried to do live streams outside, so has Joshua, outside of, like, the area that you've live streamed 100 times from to troubleshoot all of the bullshit. And it's just a complete nightmare. You know, typically, like, the Wi-Fi connections that you have are not going to be anywhere near fast enough or stable enough. And so, yeah, I'm not even going to try. It would just, yeah, I've tried it a bunch. I've tried to live stream offsite a whole bunch of times, and it's just a disaster. And so, like, and I'm also flying there, so, like, I would have to figure out how to pack, like, the DSLR, and it would be a complete disaster. So I'll get a bunch of footage, and then I'll play all that footage for you guys back on, like, the Monday night live stream after the event or whatever, and hopefully that's good enough for everybody. I think they might live stream the races, though. There's a company that has a really fancy setup that I believe will be live streaming the races, so you should be able to see the races. But yeah, I'm not good enough at live streaming to be able to figure out how to do it off-site. Ray says, perhaps I stand corrected, checking now. In reference to what? I don't see a previous comment from Ray's. Other than the battery thing, but I don't think this is in reference to that. Ray says, yeah, I stand corrected. Good, I think. Craig says, if it's a gift, don't worry about the cost. Fair enough. Uriel says, good idea. Flew FPCV around the world. In terms of another, for the record, in terms of another external drive, here's one of the other issues is that, like, I have 2 giant USB hubs, big long hubs, and then one, like, I've got too much stuff to plug in. Like, yeah. I'm like, although Frank Nicholas is actually sending me a hub that has, I think I will have 1 extra Thunderbolt plug, all said and done here. because I have this Thunderbolt enclosure coming, and that's going to eat up one of the plugs. This monitor eats up one of the other Thunderbolt plugs. But Frank is sending me a hub that will plug into Thunderbolt and then give me 2 Thunderbolt outs. And I will use one of those for this enclosure that's on the way. And then the other one, I don't have anything that necessarily needs it. So I actually do think I will have 1 free Thunderbolt plug. Yeah. Yeah. So, never mind. I will have an extra plug. Uriel says, I send you content from Holland. I'm assuming that means Holland. Yeah, it's on the other side of the F. Mutterson says, April is in about 90 minutes, at least where you are. Is it really? Is it Monday? Is today the last day? Oh, wow, it is. We better work. Go away. What? Get out of here. Get. There it is. Get. YouTube, please. Raise FPV says, I don't leave them plugged in. I think, as CMYK mentioned, it's a quality control thing. Happened to be from a batch of batteries I bought from Amazon, but it is what it is. If you're not leaving the batteries plugged in, then are you leaving them... the only other thing is you don't want to leave them fully charged. You also don't want to leave them all the way dead. You want your batteries to... This is why I bring Tiny Whoop batteries in at 3.5 volts per cell. When I do that, when I unplug the battery from the Tiny Whoop, the voltage will bounce back up to like 3.7 to 3.8. And so like if you're running a Tiny Whoop battery down to like 3.1 volts and it's bouncing back to like 3.4 or 3.5, that's you like... I did it for a long time, but like that's not good. That's not ideal. You want to leave batteries as close as possible to 3.8 volts per cell, or if they're a 1S, 3.8 volts, as possible. And so that's the only other thing that I can think of, is that maybe you're running them way too far down and then they're only bouncing back to 3.4, 3.5, and then they're sitting there for a week. Or if you're fully charging them and then letting them sit for a week, that's also kind of hard on them. But yeah, other than that, it's got to be a QC thing. COYK says, I had to put my social media on an old device and just not use it often. Yeah, that's a really good idea. And actually now I've got this guy, my old SE. And maybe this becomes the social media phone. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I remember CMYK and I talk every once in a while through text and whatnot. And I remember he told me about that a while ago, and I was like, oh fuck, that's a really good idea. But we'll see. I don't know. I've done a pretty good job hiding and or silencing and or unsubscribing from people that post a lot of political stuff. Maggie posts a good amount of it, and so there's no way to kind of escape from that. But it's okay. You know, having like one person that posts that stuff is I can stomach that. I think. I might have to hide her stories. What's nice is on Instagram you can hide just stories or just posts. Either or. So yeah, being able to manage your mental health is much easier. PV says this one is worth checking. LOL, nice. Raise FPV says Ali Kent and I both struggle from BPD2, so we understand BPD being bipolar disorder for anybody that's not in the terrible mental health universe. Hope overall it goes better for your brother. Hang in. Thank you, dude. Frank Douglas says crazy USB cable. What's a crazy USB cable? Yeah, there it is. That's the plug that I'm referring to. 792, not bad. I have a feeling that I have at least one of these in my stash of old cables, so I think I'll be fine. But $7.92 for a 6-footer, that's a pretty good deal. Amazon Basics cables are really good. As much as I try not to order from Amazon, I will admit that their cables are are pretty good, and boy are they inexpensive. Matthew Wegner says, how many people knew exactly what I meant when I said crazy USB cable? Matthew Wegner says, there are low bit QR variants that could survive analog. Pretty sure OpenCV program could watch a feed in real time to track and timestamp. Oh my God, really? That's nutty. But honestly, just having the DVR with codes in case of contesting is probably enough, and you'd never check them. Yeah, I think just like 3-digit codes or something, you know, that'd be simple enough. The problem is, how do we get them into places that are like clever or hidden enough? And then like, how do we get people to go? Like, do we? I think we have to make a sheet with like clues, right? I mean, I guess that's the whole point of a scavenger hunt. Yeah, okay, right. Never mind. I don't do many scavenger hunts, as you just found out. So yeah, that would make sense. That's the whole point, right? It's that it's there's puns and there's clues and shit like that, and then the whole point is that anybody who sits there and thinks about it for long enough can figure it out. Versus only the best FPV pilots can figure it out. Can fly good enough to get the judges to say, yes, you win. Sometimes you just got to talk it out. CMYKFPV says, yo, Jesse must have something fun up his sleeve. That's perfect for the hunt. Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. You're probably right. I mentioned this to Jesse very like in passing. We're still setting up a call where we can talk more about it, and I would not be surprised if he had something absolutely perfect already, like ready to go. Uriel says, the more you realize what happens in the mind, the better you get. Boy, is that true. Frank Nicholas says, 4 terabyte NVMe drive and good enclosure is about $350. Well, that's not bad. 4 terabytes of infinitely fast storage. I mean, obviously, $350 is a ton of money, but 4 terabytes of what is it? SDHC? I guess NVMe is the new SDHC or SSD, whatever. That's not that bad. Because 4 terabytes is a ton. 4 terabytes is a lot of storage. YouTube just did the thing and scrolled me to the bottom. Hey, you know what hasn't happened yet tonight? Canon hasn't shit the bed. YouTube has not freaked out. And Canon, the Canon software has not shit the bed. Let's see how long that lasts. Trying to find where I was in the chat. There we go. Looks like Craig and Frank are talking. Uriel says, it's a bit zen. What's that mean? Hey, if you want to support me so I can keep doing this, head on over to CiottiFPV.com and start clicking buttons. All the buttons help. Click them all. CMYK says, whoop CTF with hot glued magnets. What's CTF? Capture the flag. How would that work? Capture the flag. Whoop, capture the flag. So you hot glue a magnet onto the front, and then the flag has a magnet on it. One person gets it. Mid-airs are pretty hard. Be interesting. It wouldn't work for like what we're trying to do for the contest or whatever, but that's very interesting. Greg says, jam the signal. What signal? Euro says, Greenland, land of opportunities for drone flyers. Frank Douglas says, I sent 2 Thunderbolt docks. You'll have plenty of available ports. Use them. You'll see. The one dock I've been getting the word dock and hub confused, for the record, during this live stream. The one dock with the SD card slot on the front, I'm absolutely using. The other one I'm gonna wait, because the other one that Frank is sending has 4 Thunderbolt docks on the back. I don't think I will need that many, but at some point it might be really nice to have it. Shout out to Frank Nicholas for sending a couple of docks that are going to help me quite a bit. I thought this dock that I have here was Thunderbolt. Apparently it's not, which could explain some things, because I had stuff plugged into that I was thinking I should have done more speed testing, but better late than never. Frank also says full dock has 1 Thunderbolt pass through. Other small one is a Thunderbolt dock hub with 4. Oh, so the one of them's only. I'll figure it out once I get here. I'm not like trusting anything anymore. I'm doing drive speed testing on like everything at this point. I got all the stuff that I got today. I spent like hours plugging it into different spots and just testing speed. Because I have, like I said earlier, I have two hubs that are velcroed to the bottom of this desk, actually, and those hubs are just crammed full of shit. All these cameras, the speakers, just lots and lots and lots of stuff. And then I have a hub here with an SD card slot on it, which is super nice, and like 1 single USB port and a headphone port, which is just like awesome to have something right in front of me here, so I don't have to crawl under the desk or go behind the desk and plug shit in. Like I said, I thought this hub was Thunderbolt, but apparently it's not. Kazuma says Pokemon Snap was a rail shooter, yeah, but you had to snap a picture of Pokemon and would get a point for the right ones. You could use items or toys instead of Pokemon. Okay, yeah, that was my memory of that game as well. So how would we do that? I guess we could kind of do that with like people, like a part of the scavenger hunt. One of the things that you would have to have in the DVR is like Jesse's face or like my face. But then like if you're trying to do the scavenger hunt and like we're in the bathroom, you're screwed. But is that part of the fun? Like you line it all up and then you got to like make sure that that the right people are in places that you can fly in front of them. Does that get obnoxious? Because, right? That could be cool though. I like that idea. That's a super fun wrinkle in that. I knew I could count on you guys for good ideas. I like it. But like the scavenger hunt thing, like that's it, right? There's no other like competition that we could do that's freestyle focused, that's not as competitive, right? Maybe we do that everybody can pretty much win, and then we do an actual freestyle competition. If we do an actual freestyle competition, I think it'll be a 1 minute time limit. It'll be like get up in the air and then like call go, and when you call go, your minute starts. We hit the timer, and then you do as much as you can in a 1 minute, and then in 1 minute, and then we judge it, and then the next person is up. FizzPV says, in a pinch, Guitar Center studio audio interfaces use that cable. Do they really? That's good to know. Although a Guitar Center would probably charge $100 for that cable. Uriel says, I can understand you want some Quition unvisable. I want Poiplul to ask about pro-stat problems. Moss1 says, how much double stuffed do you travel with? None. That would be fucking funny though, wouldn't it? Frank Nicholas says, SSD maxes out. Oh, SSD is the same thing as SATA? I thought it. So what's the solid state? The little, I have 1 terabyte little thin solid state hard drive that I used to put into this bracket to make it work with SATA, but on the little toaster oven looking enclosure that I have, I realized that I don't even need to do that. What is that called? I thought that was called SSD. And then the spinny boys were SATA. SATA is just the connection, isn't it? SATA is just the plug, right? Good God, SATA maxes out at 500 megabits a second. NVMe can do 6,000. Jesus. Thunderbolt NVMe is about 3,500. Good Lord. Okay, so you're talking about the plug, I guess. Huh. So the SATA plug. I get it. Doubles FPV says, what if the scavenger hunt is for objects that double as obstacles? Yeah. Yeah, like power loop. That would work. That would be cool. Because what we could do is you have to power loop an object, and we make sure that that object is like easily power loopable. And then you have to split S this other thing, and we make sure that that's big and opened, right? Like I don't want it to be like a tight power loop. Like power looping one of these pop-up cubes, that wouldn't work. That's hard to do. It's really hard to do. And so I want it to be like power loop something with a ton of free air around it, right? So it's super, super, super easy. That's cool. I like that idea, Doubles. Uriel says flowchart. What about it? What about a flowchart? Craig says jam the digital VTXs versus analog. Might be possible. Oh man, it would be the other way around, brother. I don't know how this is gonna go with freestyle pilots wanting to fly digital while there are potentially races going on with analog. I'm kind of worried. Tiny whoops have been immune to the horrors of digital pilots stomping all over big blocks of the analog band at a time. Now that 04 is out and yeah, there's a lot more digital tiny whoops. It's this will be interesting. I hope the 04 Lite does not make flying tiny whoops as frustrating as it is flying everything else on every other flight line when you have to manage digital and analog pilots, but it probably will. I'm almost caught up on chat. Look at me go! King Dingling says, have you seen the tooth grinder on CNC drones building a 2.5 inch? I have not. Maybe I have. CNC drones. That looks like it's it. 2S, 3S version? Nope, not quick view. Just let me look at it. Tooth Grinder 2. Oh, look at that. It's a little tiny demibot. Or solid base plate, which I don't like. At this point, the arms should be... Even on smaller builds, there's always a way to make the arms removable. I mean, this is just a shitty CAD, but the carbon fiber weave is going the wrong direction in this shitty CAD. Hopefully the finished version has the carbon fiber weave going the correct direction. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to tell anything with these stupid CAD drawings of these things. So, but yeah, my main complaint is going to be that it's a solid base plate. Individual arms. So when you do a solid base plate, in order for you to get the arms thick enough so that the arms are strong, the central area of the canopy is too thick. You don't need that much strength in the central area of the canopy. If you go thinner on the arms, then the arms become fragile, right? A removable arm frame, you can do the central canopy nice and thin because it doesn't need a lot of strength, and then you can do nice and thick arms. branching off that. Also, when you inevitably break an arm on a solid base plate, it's like 2 hours of work. With removable arms, it's like 2 minutes of work, right? So I really, really, really prefer frames that have a removable arm setup, and you can do it on these little tiny frames. It's more work for the frame designer for sure, but it's absolutely doable. And so that's my main hesitation on that frame. Other than that, though, it's got half decent motor protection on the ends of the arms because they use the Oh My God design from a bunch of bots frames. So yeah, other than that, it looks pretty decent. Craig says, how about a version of Sardines where one person hides, everyone hides with them until no one is left? What is that? I don't know that game. The game is called Sardines. I've never heard of that before. SSD is solid state drive. I thought so. Okay. SATA is the protocol to talk. Oh, yeah, okay. So SATA is that style of plug. Got it. Matthew Wagner says most open would be a scavenger hunt finds static takeoff / starting points, a sticker, then wholly freeform from there. Just do a cool flight from here. FizzPV says the ones that look like memory are NDMe. I thought so. Yep. So what are they? They're basically just like memory sticks, but instead of being, I forget the word for it, but RAM, regular RAM for a computer, when you take power away from it, it wipes itself out. It doesn't. There's RAM, there's ROM, but then there's two different types of. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm assuming they're just like regular RAM, but they obviously maintain what's stored on them forever instead of wiping it out every time you turn the power off. Practically says that bracket is for 2.5-inch notebook size drive. That's what I have. 2.5-inch notebook sized SSD drive. Can be spinning drive or SSD flash. SATA is the connector interface on both. Got it. Doubles FPV says orbit some statue, etc. Oh, that's interesting. Make people go outside. That's tough. Making people go outside with tiny whoops is kind of tough. CBCBR says, give out like 5 t-shirts with event logo to random people, then the competitors will need to find them. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. The problem with, well, we have to tell those people, though, that if they leave, they need to give that shirt to somebody else. That's a super interesting idea. The problem with that idea, though, is that all day everybody is flying in front of each other. Like there's going to be a constant stream of tiny whoops going in front of. I guess we could put it on the back. I guess we would put the thing that you have to point the camera at on the back of the shirts. But then we've got a lot of tiny whoops like coming near people and getting stuck in people's hair. I love that idea, but that could be a nightmare. That's interesting though. So I'm gonna have a call with Jesse probably tomorrow or the next day, and we'll talk about all this. So all these ideas are awesome. Thank you guys so much. Craig says, "Is digital video spread spectrum interesting?" All of the digital ones, like, so with analog, they'll just take a little tiny chunk of the band of bandwidth. The digital systems take a much bigger chunk, and like when you go to like 25 megabits, if you go to 50 megabits, they take an even bigger chunk, and so that's what makes it really annoying when you have a flight line with a bunch of folks on digital. The first thing you do is tell everybody on digital to drop down to the lowest bit rate so that they're taking as small of a chunk of the spectrum as possible. But there's like a lot of bleed, even on like 25 megabits, it'll still bleed over from like race 1 to race 3. And so like nobody on analog can use race 1, 2, or 3. And then like race 4 will be kind of shitty even because it's close. It sucks. Flight lines with digital and analog are super frustrating. Also, digital transmits and receives. So you can't have a digital pilot standing anywhere near an analog pilot. You got to all space out. It's frustrating. Blanket the place with CiottiFPV logos. It becomes chaining as many together as possible. That's an interesting idea. Craig says, sardines, because when humans play, you get all squeezed together. Nice. FizzPV says non-volatile RAM. There it is, non-volatile. That's funny. Frank says NVMe is PCIe device, just like the card that you put in your computer. They connect directly to PCIe bus. SATA is control/data protocol. I felt like the teacher in Charlie Brown just now. Craig says NVMe, non-volatile memory express. Okay, that's what it stands for. Matthew Wagner says M.2 is a form factor like 2.5 inch. Weirdly full 2x2 matrix exists. Both again. Mudderson says also the DJI goggles transmit in little bursts, so it races. We all have to go stand in the DJI ghetto. Yeah, I really don't know how this is gonna work. Like, this is a racing event. I'm guessing that when they're racing, nobody else is plugging in. But then there's gaps in between the racing, so I guess that's when the freestyle stuff can kind of happen. We'll figure it out. All right, I'm caught up. What time is it? It's only 11:10. Fantastic. A little miniature. I didn't put it in the stream title, but huge thank you to WeBleedFPV for sending me out the motors that didn't get dropped into the box from my previous shipment with an awesome little surprise, which is 2 sets of the 32,500 kV motors. What's cool about that is, once I was actually going to buy one of these, so I'm going to use this. This is going to be going into the giveaways. So probably next Monday's giveaway for the Tiny Whoop tier, we'll have these 1.5 mil shaft 0702 32,500 kV motors. Thank you, WeBleed. Thank you, Zotek. You're the man, as always. Yeah, these screamers, these lower kV motors, also, so I posted in the HDZero Discord, which has lots of awesome people in there that are super knowledgeable. The core temperature problem that I've been having with this AIO5 is apparently not a problem. That's just the way that this AIO5 is. If you're going to put ELRS, ESCs, flight controller, gyro, and a digital video system onto one board, it's going to run hot. Apparently, the safe operating temperature for electronics is 185 and below. The Betaflight warning, temperature warning, comes on at 170. So it's a little too aggressive. That's a really good idea, though. I would rather that be too aggressive and have a warning earlier than too late. So for this AIO5 to be cruising around at 180 degrees Fahrenheit is apparently totally fine. I just need to go into Betaflight and turn that warning up, which I have not done in many, many years. And so I'm going to try to figure it out real quick. And I'm going to show you guys how I find stuff in the CLI. A lot of people don't know that you can do this, and it's super, super, super handy. So we'll give Betaflight 10 days and nights to launch. I'm actually going to unplug this while we're waiting. And so, yeah, there's a way to find stuff in the CLI that is not like all that difficult. And I'm going to try that here real quick. And hopefully educate you guys. You could certainly just go on like the Betaflight wiki and use their little search field, but this is even quicker. So plug the quad in, connect, CLI. I'm going to type get, G-E-T, and then I'm just going to start typing temperature. So I'm going to type T-E-M, and so now I have typed enough letters in here. I've typed enough letters where it has searched through all of the different like things in the CLI, and it's found like when I just typed T, Oh, wow. Well, now it's giving you like a million. Everything that has the letter T in it, right? And so this is too many. This is too much. T-E-M. Now that I've got T-E-M, it's not like a million different things. And so it shows you all of those different options. So let's take a look. ADC temp sensor calibration. No. Another one of those. No. OSD core temperature alarm. That's probably it, right? OSD core temperature POS for position, maybe? Oh yeah, so that's where in the OSD it's gonna be. OSC ESC temperature alarm. No, it's a core temperature alarm. Yeah, it's a core temperature. It's not an ESC temperature alarm. OSD VTX temp position. POS is for position. That's where it's going to be on the screen for your OSD. RC device in it, no idea. RC device in it, no idea. System HSC, no idea. Telemetry disabled ESC temperature. That's interesting. Telemetry disabled temperature VCD video system. So now, some of these are kind of cryptic, right? But since you typed get, you can look at what the current value is, which will maybe shed a little bit of light. I'm pretty sure it's this one. I'm pretty sure it's this one. I'm pretty sure it's the OSC core temperature alarm. But this might just be on and off. So let's click it, and that's going to drop it in here, and then hit enter. And now I got to scroll up a little bit. And so OSD core. Okay, no, yeah, this is the number that it turns on. So it's currently set to 70. I'm assuming that's Celsius. But I have mine set to Fahrenheit, so F to C. Fahrenheit to, okay, so it's currently coming on at 170 Fahrenheit, which is 76 Celsius. Where's Celsius to Fahrenheit? Really? Oh my god. Oh, perfect. This is really what I wanted. So 70 Celsius is 158 Fahrenheit. I don't think it comes on at 158 Fahrenheit. But let's just see. 80. Okay, so 80 degrees Celsius is 176 Fahrenheit. 90 degree, nope. So we wouldn't want to go to 90. What about 85? Nope. So we want like, what, 82? Perfect. 82 degrees Celsius. So I have a feeling that I want to change this to 80. But real quick, let's type get tem in again. And let's look at some of these other ones. Let's look at the OSC ESC temperature alarm. All right, click it. It drops it in. Hit enter. Scroll back up. Okay, so there is no ESC temperature alarm. That's zeroed out. So it's definitely not that. All right, get TEM. There was one more that maybe it could have been, I think. System VTX, temp, POS. Telemetry disabled ESC. What is this? Telemetry disabled ESC temperature. What is that one? Let's just drop it in and see. All right, so it's currently off. I'm not going to turn it on. So I'm pretty sure it's this. I'm pretty sure it's this get OSD core temperature alarm. I'm going to do this. I'm going to grab this chunk and I'm going to drop this into the Betaflight wiki. All right. And so we go to the Betaflight wiki and there's a little search field in the top right. I'm going to drop that in there. And this is that's not super helpful. Okay. Well, let's just search for, let's take those underscores out of it. And then it'll search for like the raw text. There we go. Okay. So, alarms, here we go. What? Ah, here it is. Okay. So, where are we at? Alarms. Show an OSD alarm when one of the values reaches core temp. Search for that real quick. Okay. What? Nope. Core temp alarm. Nope. Come on. All right, well. Usually the Betaflight wiki is a little more helpful than this, but you can't have everything for everyone. CLI tab. Let's try this. Let's just dump it into Betaflight. Into Google, rather. Documentation of 4.1 CLI Betaflight deciphered. CLI values. Here we go. Now we're talking. Little Control F. All right, so that doesn't tell us much. CLI command line reference. Let's try this. Nope. That's not it. Overcapacity. I mean, that's probably it. 70 Celsius is pretty close to where it was coming on for Fahrenheit. What did I decide? 82, right? So let's change it to 82. And then we'll put a battery through this rig and see what happens. So we're gonna, now we typed get to look at the current values. Now we want to change the values. So we're gonna type set. Right? So we're gonna type set space. I'm gonna paste this in. Space equals 82. And so now it gives you this little confirmation. Set OSD core temperature alarm equals 82. Core temperature alarm set to 82. And so now if you type get again, it'll show you that the OSD core temperature alarm is now set to 82. And now you're going to type save. There you go. CMYK says Spotlight search will auto-convert. Oh, that's pretty cool. Mustang Nebraska says, what lens would you want to use on a Sony A5100? Just wondering, as I have an 8500 with stock zoom lens, maybe I could loan it to you to try in your setup. Dude, that would be awesome. Is this thing getting hot? No. I listen to it as if I can hear the heat. The lens would need to be roughly 20. Well, it kind of depends. So this is an 18 to 55 lens on here. It is at 24 millimeters, but this is a 1.6 crop DSLR. I have not dug in deep enough to the A5100 to see what the sensor situation is, to see how much it crops or doesn't crop the actual zoom value of the lens. There we go. So yeah, I'm not totally sure. Google to the rescue. Sony A5100 crop amount. 1.5. Okay. Crop factor of 1.5. So the lens would need to be roughly 1.6. I mean, it would need to be around 24 millimeters. Yeah, I'm pretty much dead on 24 mil to get this. And like this is I mean, if it was wider, it would be fine because I could crop in. And this is I think I even have this cropped in a little bit. No, I don't. I just have it shifted up a little bit. But yeah, it would need to be around 24. Around 24. Yeah, I haven't even started looking for lenses either. But yeah, that would be amazing. All I would have to do is, I guess, to test it, I could just run it through this HD60S Plus capture card that I have. At some point, I think I will need to get, and I would get one of the simple capture cards. But yeah, that would be great to test it out and just to see if anything weird happens. Very, very cool. Message me somewhere if you're willing to let me borrow it. I would love that, man. CMYK says I need to shift my battery low warning. Well, that's easy to do. You don't have to do that in the CLI. Hey, let's put a battery through this. Speaking of, and see what happens. See if it doesn't give us the wait. No. Yes. Yeah. We're gonna do this now because it currently has 2 motors on it that are vibrating pretty hard. Oh, I wish I hadn't made that change. Damn it. I did this all out of order. I wanted to change the motors on this to fresh motors to see if that problem would go away. But we will see it in the runtime. We will see the runtime drastically change. So, yeah, this is fine. So let's fly it. Now, you know what? Let's fly a battery. I'm going to undo what I just did. Because I absolutely did this in the complete wrong order, and it'll only take me a second. It's still in my clipboard. To come in here, do this, go to this, type set, paste. Oh, nope. Can you believe I just hit the delete button that many times? Equals, nope, not plus, equals 70. That's now the default setting. That's where it was before. Save. Okay, cool. Okay, so what's the change that I'm... Hold on. Oh, the motors. Yeah. Let's change the motors. We're going to swap these motors out. And I meant to be doing this while I was getting caught up on the chat, but I forgot. And, you know, it's just the way it goes sometimes. I'm going to put the 40,000 kV 0702s on the Betafpv analog cinematic setup that we're doing tonight. And then these 32,500s are going to go on this guy because this is the guy that I need more runtime out of. And they might not live on here forever. I might end up moving them. But yeah, for right now, this is fine. Do I want to pull these propellers off? These motors are kind of banged up. They're 1,000,000 kV. I would rather have them with bi-blades, I think. So yes, we're going to pull these motors off. Propellers off. Ah! Get in there, clone popper. Do it. Oh boy. There it is. Woo, that prop is stuck. That wasn't too bad. I'm just like ultra gentle. You really need to be. You need to be super gentle when removing these props. I mean, just when doing anything with these tiny whoop motors with the 1 mil shafts, like, oh boy, that wasn't very gentle. Yeah, you got to be outstandingly gentle. Is that a word? It is now. Yo, Ted Lasso is the best show of all time. Just like straight up, unbelievable. I cannot believe how good that show is. So I'm gonna do the motor shaft. Is your motor shaft bent test? What's up, Apache Smoke? How are you, brother? This is the is your motor shaft bent test. This is the best way of doing it. Plug into Betaflight. Fucking I unplugged the motors already. Well, I'll show you another time. You go into Betaflight. I'll talk you through it. You take your props off. You go into Betaflight. You should do this like if you have to take a full set of propellers off, you should just do this. You should just do this little thing because it's awesome, and it is the way to keep an eye on the health of your murders. You go into Betaflight, you plug a battery in, and you spin the motors up very slowly, like very slowly. Not as slow as they'll spin, but like 10% throttle, so that they're spinning really slowly. Make sure they're spinning very slowly. All right, so you get the motor spinning very slowly. If this is the motor shaft, it's going to be spinning around here. You take your fingernail, make sure that motor's spinning, and you put your fingernail up against it sideways, not on top, on the side. And so if that motor shaft is bent, it's going to be wobbling around, and you'll feel it on your finger. And so you just go to the master slider and you pull all 4 motors up a little bit and get them spinning slowly. I don't know, man. Doing things that must be the cringiest shit ever. It's just so much fun. I'm so sorry, but you know, it's got to be at least a little bit about me. I gotta at least, you know, push the envelope a little bit to feel alive. Yeah, that looks fine. Also, when you have the motor off, take a quick look at the if you've drilled the holes out, make sure you take a quick look to make sure everything is there's no little shards of plastic getting into that C-clip. But we did that yesterday and we were fine. I'm gonna do something super quick since I'm pulling these. Yeah. Hold on. I'm going to do something super quick that I do every once in a while. Which I haven't showed you guys in a while. If you take the last like little step of clearing out the little pieces of plastic is to take a little X-Acto knife and you just go in here and you just run it really gently around and it'll just catch any extra little bits of plastic that the other methods that I showed you on yesterday's stream may not have. Just sort of one of those things. So just work it around real gentle. And if there's any little tiny shard of plastic, it'll catch it and it'll rip it off. If you've drilled one of these out, you'll know what I mean. There's little shit shards of plastic all over the goddamn place. And they creep me out, man. They creep me the fuck out. They're ultra creepy. And this is the true crazy person way of doing it. You put magnification on, and then you come in here with the X-Acto knife. And now you can see the little shit shards of plastic. And so you can just come in here and like, there's a little shit shard. Get out of there, you little shard of shit. And then you just work it around. Get them on out of there. And now all is right with the world. Oh, how I wish they had just oversized these holes a little tiny bit. But hey, man, we got to DIY something. If this is what we have to DIY, we're pretty lucky. We are pretty lucky. This ain't too bad, man. Compared to some of the shit that we used to have to do, woo boy, this is nothing. All right. Especially with how good these damn things fly, my God. So, Craig says, Ted Lasso's a riot. We really enjoyed it. Yeah, super, super, super good. Also, an example that shows don't have to, you don't have to murder people. You don't have to, shows don't have to be as insane as they tend to be. You can have a show about good people and it still be amazing. But it's hard to do. Hard to make a show that connects with everybody, What is that little piece of plastic there? Get out of there. It's probably fine, but That's fine. Hey. One motor is done. I can't do that on all 4 of these. The other 3, I should say. Let's just swap them out quick. Here we go. Craig says Detectorists. What the hell's that? Oh, watch The Detectorists, a British comedy drama, lighthearted. Very cool. What's it on? CMYK says Ted Lasso is amazing. I don't do sports. Yeah, they really gloss over the football part of that show, which is great. And I have a funny feeling that they get a bunch of the football stuff kind of wrong. Like, in the same way that, not necessarily wrong, but like missed opportunity kind of stuff. In the same way that, like, every single time I watch anything with cars in it, I want to cut my fucking head off. Like, you've got an opportunity to bring a couple technical advisors on and really, like, do something super cool for the true enthusiasts, but you don't. Although, like, movies have been getting way better about using actual, like, knowledgeable technical people to get stuff right. But yeah, like the Fast and the Furious movies are the absolute golden example of this. I can't watch them. Like, they had an opportunity to, like, educate people on the real shit, and, like, it wouldn't have taken much, but instead they just completely ignored it. The technical advisors are complete fucking idiots, or they just don't listen to them at all. And they just say the first Fast and the Furious movie is atrocious. Like, half the shit that they say makes no sense at all. But, like, on top of that, it's an opportunity to, like, show the good side of car culture and show, like, but instead they just blow shit up and shoot each other in the face. But, like, at the very least, like, just don't say fucking danger to the manifold, you assholes. Like, come on. Like, there are just so many egregious things in the initial Fast and the Furious that make anybody that knows anything about cars just want to jump off a building. They won't admit it. A lot of them say, like, they love that movie and like, you know, it's funny to laugh at, but on the inside, if they're a true car guy or gal, they die a little bit because of the missed opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And I have a feeling that everybody that knows soccer feels that way when they watch Ted Lasso. Maybe not. Maybe not. But I have a funny feeling that they do. Any soccer people out there that can back me up? But, like, I think that's kind of expected at this point. Like, when you watch a movie with a thing that you know a lot about, I think it's kind of expected that it's going to make you want to claw your eyes out. Every once in a while, we'll get a movie that they cared, and I think what it is that the enough of the people involved with the movie have enough knowledge of the subject to where, because it's hard to do, man. Like, it's hard to have the scriptwriter know all the things about the thing, and then it's hard to have, like, the director know enough. Yeah, Cole Power says, like, every computer hacking scene ever. Yeah, exactly, right? But, like, if you have enough people involved that know about the thing, then there's a chance. Yeah, computer hacking is probably the perfect example of this. FizzFPV says, watching car movies is like watching 70s kung fu movies. Yeah, it's a good analogy. That's why I couldn't watch the Gran Turismo movie, actually. because again, they had an incredible, incredible, incredible opportunity to show how awesome the sim racing community is, and just in general, like car stuff, how cool um, circuit based car things are, and they just completely they just totally Hollywooded it all the way up. And I played the movie for maybe 25 minutes, and then I was just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. This is just so bad. This is just so dumbed down and Hollywooded up. Yeah, Keanu Reeves is a good example of somebody who does care enough and get into things enough to so like the John Wick movies, like he dove all the way into tactical shooting, and they did a great job with that side of it in those movies, and it's very cool. Black Hawk Down is another example. They did a great job with that. That was actually one of the... That movie came out when I was into airsoft, and that was one of the very few movies that had any amount of accuracy. And it was a situation where they just had a lot of technical advisors. There were just a lot of people, from the script writers to the directors to like everybody involved, really wanted to respect that, and they did a great job with it. And it's super accurate. There's still plenty of Hollywood, but a lot of it is way more accurate than like any other, most other movies up to that point. Is that... looks okay. It's usually pretty easy to tell if you've got a little bit of plastic pushing up against any of these by just spinning each motor up individually. And if one motor, you'll hear it. It'll spin a lot lower. We'll actually do it. We'll do it with turtle mode. So nice fresh set of motors on here. I'm gonna have to bump up the motor output limit. It's at 80% at the moment for the 40,000s that are coming off of it. Let's see if I can forget to do that. And then we will convert... Oh shit, I didn't realize how late it is. My god. We will convert the Betafpv rig over. That should be super simple though, because I just need to pick the AIO up, pop the camera out, and away we'll go. Damn it, I didn't realize this was taking so long. I should have just hot swapped the motors over. Oh god. There is a little chunk of plastic on this one. There it is. Oh boy. Like I said yesterday, you need to check for this every time you take the motors off and on, because every time you do that, it pushes the plastic on the motor base plate in a little bit more. And so like it'll be fine, and then it won't be fine. Wow, I actually need to take this motor back off and fix this one. This one's... There is a chunk of plastic pushing into the C-clip. Damn. Come on. Hey. There we go. Let's get it out of there. There it is. What I should have done is grab the Dremel and use the conical Dremel bit. But in order to do that, you have to pull the screws out, and that's a little bit fiddly. And I thought that I'd be able to do this faster, but I wish that I had just done that, because I would have been done with that already. The Dremel bit gets the plastic a little bit hot, and so it kills all these little plastic shards. I like the 9/64 drill bit method because it takes off just the right amount of plastic. The conical Dremel method, you could take too much plastic off without in a hurry too. So the 9/64 method is a little safer, but it creates these little bits of plastic which can cause troubles. The other thing that happens is when you screw the motor down, it pushes some of the plastic. If there's a plastic sitting up like this, you put the motor down, it could fold that plastic over, and then that could interfere with the C-clip. And so you got to kind of keep checking it. What is that? Get out of there! Okay, good. All right, now we're fine. Arr. Yar! They're all going to be spinning the correct direction because I removed the... I swapped them... I paid attention to the little red dots on the plugs. And you know, actually, when I was putting these on yesterday and when I was taking them off, I realized that they are... I needed to hit them with the pin vise for another split second. Some of them were... One of them was exactly right, but 3 of them were just a little bit too tight. So we're going to put it up and down the 0.99 drill bit 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And that should have this absolutely perfect. So, man, it's still a little bit too tight. We're going to leave it, though. We're going to leave just that one. Just that one can be too tight. It's fine. Once. Twice. 3 times. Come on. And props in. That one's good. That was probably the one that was perfect. This one's a little too tight. 2, 3. Atreides with a $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, Drillbit does great. How's it going, bud? Did you do any flip switch testing? I did not. I'm still waiting on the company to send me all the other stuff. They've been very weird with... They've been really bad at communicating with me. And so... And they also just... They didn't pay any attention. They're not reading the emails that I'm sending them, and they didn't pay any attention on the phone call, and so I'm having to, like, explain stuff a 3rd and 4th and 5th time. Like, they didn't even realize that they were buying the drones. I don't know what they thought that they were buying, but they thought that I was going to be building these all. And I'm like, no, I specifically said that I don't have time to build you 6 custom drones. It's been a little frustrating, if I'm honest, but apparently they just dropped a package in the mail with all the goggles, all the transmitters, all the stuff. So yeah, I'll have lots of work to do towards the end of this week with that. Okay, HDZero module being powered up. Oh shit, I left the apparently I left the capture card plugged in. I'm surprised the computer wasn't stuttering and freaking out like it usually does when that thing is plugged in. All right, got some HDZero goggles going on here. HDVRX, I got to turn that on. Turn this off so you don't go crazy. Power this up, and let's do a... So, yesterday we were having the temperature issue, and we're also having short run times. This is the HDZero cinematic rig. It would help if I plugged this last motor in, wouldn't it? That we built on yesterday's live stream. Let's see if those problems went away with a fresh set of motors that are not all banged up. The motors that I'd put on it came off of a Freestyle rig that I'd been hammering on pretty good, and 2 of the motors had pretty significant vibrations, if I'm honest. So that was kind of my bad, but let's see what we got here. I've not changed anything on it from yesterday. Why is there no video? Source, HDZero. No video. What do you want from me? Stop beeping. Stop beeping! Oh my god. Why is there no video? Oh my god, stop beeping. The AIO5 board does do this thing pretty often where it changes its channel down to R1. So let me go down to R1 and see if that's the deal. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on! Boot up, HDZero goggles. Boot up! Great. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Go, 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 go. HDZero R8. Okay. Come on, come on, come on, come on. All right, nothing on R8. Let's go down to R1. Hell, come on. Yes, to R1. Yeah, there it is. Oh my god, it's super hot. Features VTX. Go back up to 8. Turn the power down to 25. Save it. Confirm, yes. Confirm, yes. Confirm. What? Low band? What the hell are you doing? No. Race band. 8. Idiot. Save, yes. There we go. Race 8. There we go. Okay. Oh my god. Yes, confirm. Exit. Stop it! Why is everything beeping? Alright, let's just give this a second. Oh, I didn't change the, the throttle limit. It's at 80%. Why are you beeping? This is a freshly charged goggle battery, you giant horse's ass. So this is what 32,500 kV happy model motors look like on an 80% motor limit. It's actually not that bad. All right, temperature's coming down. Let's see what happens when it gets to 180. See if it goes down below 180. Oh my god, I swear to hell. My hover throttle is at like 50%. Ooh. Hey, 172, 171, look at that. 169, 167. Damn, there we go. Okay, so the motors were too beat up. This is a BMI 270 gyro. We're all the way down to 165. Look at us. This is a BMI gyro rig. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is a BMI gyro rig, and they have those have a harder time with vibrations, regardless of the filtering that you set them up with. Okay, so let's see. It's it bottomed out at 160, and now it's up to 162. So back down to 160. So I mean that's low enough. And you know we did that calculation, and it said 157. So now look, we're down at 158. I bet you it'll disappear in a second, because we'll get it below 157. Hopefully. Let's see what happens. Oh god, this battery is all the way dead. Whew! So sorry for the beeping. There's absolutely no reason that should have been beeping. But I will change to yet another goggle battery. Why is it that, I swear to God, at this point, goggles use batteries quicker than quads? That should not be the case. All right, so pull this. 300 mAh battery. Let's throw this back onto the charger because I discharged it way too far down. All right, now we're going to do a fresh 300 mAh battery. I'm going to remember to change the output, the motor output, and we're going to see what kind of a flight time we get on this thing. We're doing it like all we're giving it all the chances to have good runtime here. Low KV, brand new motors. Come on. Be cool. Be cool, HDZero cinematic rig. We're going to go into Profile. MISC PP. And then... where the hell's that motor limit? Is it off the bottom? Oh, there it is. Motor out limit. 80 up to 100. There we go. Save and exit. Goggles are up. Man, this thing gets hot fast. Jesus. All right. Let's see what kind of runtime we get. I'm going to chill. I'm going to try to fly this like a Cinewhoop around here. Man, I'm getting digital breakup on the other side of the couch. Come on now. Oh, Teddy. Hello. Let's see how far that temperature comes down. Hey, buddy boy. I was hoping he would chase it. Ooh, okay. You know what this should be good for doing? This gap? Nope. Into this gap? Nope. Wow, okay. So the tune is pretty flaccid on this thing. And I'm having a hard time. It is just like a little wobbly. And that's making some of this precision stuff a little bit more difficult. I kept the tune really loose because I was having those core temperature warnings. And I was trying to get runtime out of it. Oh, he let me! He let me! Yeah! He moved right at the last second there. Oh, buddy, you had me all set up for it again. Oh, the battery's done. What the hell? A minute and 40? Dude. Why does this... What is with the runtime on this thing? Or lack thereof. More like it. 213, 214. I mean, that's dragging the battery way the hell down. Oh, man. What a shame. Yeah, look, the battery's only bouncing back to like 3.6. That's I don't like to run them down that low. Just to get 2 minutes and 20 seconds? Like, what is going on? Yeah, the lens is clean, Cole Powers. This is just the way that the HDZero stuff looks. It's like very low contrast, which I'm actually totally fine with because that's like when you film in like RAW, there's very little contrast, and then you go in after the fact and you can push some extra contrast back in. Let me clean the lens just in case, but yeah, I mean that's what HDZero stuff looks like in my experience. This is the Lux camera. I think the Eco camera might have a little bit more contrast, but everything else about it kind of sucks. This camera looks way better, this Lux camera. Man. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with this thing. It just, I've every single build that I've done with this AIO5 has had very, very, very low runtime. pretty much as low as the other digital builds that I've done. But the difference is that this is like 6 grams lighter than them. And so there's no reason that this should be having such short run times at 6 grams down in weight. I don't know what else to do here. Let me try something real quick. Is there? I've tried 2 different filtering profiles for it. One of which is from Brandon's Baked Beans, and I've used that BMI 270 filtering profile on a lot of different stuff, and it's worked really, 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 really well. Yeah. See, no, there's nothing for. I was thinking maybe is there another magical preset for BMI 270s, but there just isn't. I don't know. I don't know. I'm actually going to put this back onto Brandon's setup, and I guess I'll take it to chase the little RC drift cars and do like 1 or 2 batteries, but like I would so much rather fly analog. Wow, that's a shame, man. That's a super shame. All right, 1 harmonic at 100. Yep, good to go. Gyro low pass 2, 135 cutoff, PT2. Off 135. Save that. And then we got to change the gyro low pass filter. Let me bump this Q factor up a little bit. Bump this max frequency up a little bit as well. Okay. Coming to the CLI. Drop this in here. Save it. All right, so we're back on Brandon's magical BMI 270 profile. But I mean, that's not going to change anything. I'm not going to fly another battery on it. It just is what it is. That's what. Yeah, I don't know. Bummer, man. Super bummer. Damn. I was really hoping that that would be good. All right. Great. It's after 12 o'clock. Render says, that's what I get flight time-wise doing freestyle. That's interesting. Cold Power says, nailed the doggo gap. Really wanted to eat it. Your current draw, according to OSD, is between 6.8 and 7.4 amps during cruising. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of give up on the AIO5, I think. I've put an awful lot of time and effort and live stream content into it. And it just lets me down every single time. And the more I talk about it, the more people message me or comment on these videos and say, like, I had a guy comment, I forget who it was, yesterday, and say that he is on his 4th AIO5 and they've all let go on him. And it's just like, you know, stuff like that. It's like, okay, that's totally unacceptable. Like, what is happening? And like, I get that it's a Gen 1 product and yada yada yada, but like, I don't know, man. Why do I continue to spend time on it if it's going to be like this? And so I think it's finally time to stop that, you know? I think this might be it. I will certainly leave this together, and I will go chase the RC drift cars, and I'll maybe spend another couple of minutes off stream thinking about it and screwing around with it, because like a lot of times during the stream I will miss very obvious things. And when I think about it in the shower afterwards, I'll realize them. So I'll spend a little bit more time just kind of thinking about it and maybe screwing around with it. But yeah, I think this might be the end of my AIO5 adventure. I super appreciate the HDZero guys for sending it over. And and it's very cool. And like stuff, things like this need to get made for hundreds, if not thousands, of people to test it to figure these kind of things out, right? But yeah, I don't know. I really want it. I want it to work so bad. It is so cool to have a single AIO that's as light as it is, um, with everything on board, But I can't force it to work. So I'm just gonna bolt these motors down real quick so that the screws don't fall out. But I need to pick this AIO up and reverse it around. So what am I working on here? This is the Betafpv Matrix build that I did not too long ago. Betafpv sent me a Meteor 75 Pro with. I asked them to send me the Matrix AIO, and instead they sent me a Meteor 75 Pro with the Matrix AIO in it. So I pulled that apart because I've already done a big review of the Meteor 75 Pro, and like nothing changed on that build other than the AIO. And I did this build with the AIO. So what this is like basically the ultimate freestyle Betafpv build in a way. It was the Matrix AIO in a Cockroach 65 V3 frame with 40,000 kV 0702 Happy Model motors, and then I did the CO3 camera in the Betafpv canopy, and I did this cool red and white thing, which kind of mimics my logo, which was very fun. And it flew great, and it allowed me to put a whole bunch of crashes into the Matrix AIO and to realize that like it does seem to be really durable. And then, yeah, so I put a bunch of batteries into it, and that was kind of that, and I haven't been really flying it much lately. And so I decided to pull it apart here. This AIO is big and beefy enough where like the video system looks great, just like the 2G4. This is basically Betafpv's 2G4. It weighs the same. It has plenty of capacitance on board. The video quality is not weird. It doesn't do anything weird. It might do the full rainbow thing every once in a while. I kind of forget, but so yeah, I wanted to have an analog RC drift chase rig with the CO3 on it, and I wasn't flying this very much, and it's got a CO3 in it. So I figured, hey, pull it apart, spin the AIO around. Just happened to have this fresh set of motors coming. And, I actually should not have put these motors on it. I should have put those somewhat beat up motors back onto it. But too late now. And so, yeah, I'm going to pull this down. Swap it over. Mount the camera in the front. And then Wednesday, at the chasing the little RC drift cars around, we'll see what how good the CO3 like this is going to represent like the best possible analog quality because of the CO3 camera, you know what I mean? And with these crazy motors, this will be the rig that I try to do all kinds of wacky acrobatic shit with. The other analog drift car chase rig that I've got is on very low kV motors with the Runcam Nano 3, which gets crazy runtime, and I can control my altitude really, really well. I think it's on like 28,500 kV motors, Happy Model motors. So it's very slow, but the throttle resolution is insane, and the runtime is insane. And so this one will be the polar opposite. Get back over there! All right, so this guy needs to spin around. We're going to mount the batteries normal with the plug at the back on this guy. And so there we go with that. And all right, goody gumdrops.
So this CO3 camera I have glued in here, but not glued. I E6000 it in here, but I used the white E6000, which is actually blue. I don't know if you can see that, but the tube of white E6000 that I got, it comes out like this spearmint green kind of color, and so I don't feel bad about removing it. I'm kind of annoyed because it took me a while to get this camera perfectly rotated in here, but it doesn't take that long. And so let's back this off. I can probably just push right through the E6000. Maybe not. Maybe I do have to peel it off. But one of the great things about E6000 is it peels off in one big chunk. So that's probably enough. Let's get it all the way off. If I do if I do rebuild this, because I did like the red and white thing, I will use this camera mount again, but I will not use this white E6000. I will just use clear. Come on. Get off of there. Cole Power says, yeah, this hobby has a lot of I want to like it, but it kind of sucks. Shit. Truer words have never been spoken. Buddy, you came running down here like there's something going on. What's happening? My fuzzy little friend. All right, that's removed enough where I should be able to just push the camera out. It's so funny. The CO3 camera is actually really difficult to get in and out of this mount, but then once it's in the mount, it just rotates all over the place. Like, I don't understand how they managed to make a mount that is so difficult to get the camera in and out of, but then when the camera's in it, it's all over the goddamn place. Like, how do you even do that? Is this some kind of a sick joke? I think maybe this E6000 is not helping the situation very much. So let's get it all the way off. There we go. One nice big spearmint green clump. So yeah, like the camera's in here, and look, it's like you can rotate it all over the damn place. But then like trying to get the camera out and in is like super hard. Like you got to wedge. I've always had to like wedge something in here to open this bit up. I don't understand this camera mount at all. But it's like the only one of these G-string camera mounts that doesn't completely suck. Although the Happy Model G-string camera mount has been okay for me so far. I know a lot of you guys have not had luck with it, but I don't know. Maybe you're all just high. And you never want to pull these cameras by the PDB on the back. You always want to push them by the lens. Because the PDB and the lens element are just like kind of glued together, and it's really easy to break that. And then it's game over for that camera. Jesus Christ. Come on, man. God damn it, dude. I have another CO3 that's outside of a canopy, but I switched the cables on it. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this is because I can just plug this right in to the existing connector. Oh, God damn you. Jesus Christ on a cracker. All right. Wires come out the bottom on this, so we're going to take this batwing mount. I'm going to clean the lens, and we're going to feed it in through there. Hopefully it fits. I think I test fit it at some point. Hope so. Oh boy. Yeah, no, perfect. Good. There we go. Try to keep the camera rotated properly on the way in. Yeah, just about right. Just got to twist it a tiny little bit. Hopefully it doesn't pull the lens out of focus when I do this. Almost there. That looks to be just about right. Nope, gotta twist it just a little bit more. Just a little bit to this side. I think I just felt it. That looks right. Okay, what's nice is the batwing has a bunch of like flat lines on it. All right, so it makes like getting the camera lined up perfectly pretty easy. Just gotta like change the angle that you look at it. Yeah, that looks pretty damn good. All right, so let's see how much cable length we're gonna have. I like to run the cable up like that through the frame. And when I do that, I got plenty of length. Cool. So we got the hooks in the front. And then so I like to run this cable right up through, where does it come out? It comes out in the middle and the bottom. So I'm going to run it up through there, through that little hole. And don't plug it in yet. Get the batwing mount on first. And like I said yesterday, you want to be gentle on these hooks. So put your thumbnail on the bottom of the hook and then use your index finger to push the batwing down on there. So get it lined up with the hole. And you're basically kind of trying to push the hook up through the batwing rather than pulling the batwing down on the hook. Because the hook is kind of thin plastic. And you can bend it pretty easily. All right, almost there. Another thing you can do that's kind of a good idea, if they're being even a little bit stubborn, is just put a pair of needle nose pliers in here and just kind of pull these holes open a little bit. They'll be plenty stiff once you get them onto those little hooks. So just come in here and just stretch a little bit. If you really want the batwing to be solid, once you have it on there, you can just do a little drop of E6000. All right, let's try that. Actually, I'm gonna not even worry about the plug quite yet. So down on the top. And get it through. This CO3 camera is really tall, which is making this a bit of a pain in the ass, but I should be able to get it. There we go. All right, it's on one, and here comes the other one. And the batwing is TPU, so it's super easy to just kind of like mold it and push it where it needs to go. This is the this is actually the Walksnail Lite batwing. The Walksnail Lite camera uses the same diameter lens as all the other cameras. And there's two versions of it. This is the version that's set back, and it pushes the PCB of the camera up against the frame, which I really, really like. But yeah, two versions of this mount, whichever one works better for you. I actually need to twist this camera just a little bit more. It's not quite right. Not quite level. Almost. Come on. I think that was it. Wiggle it around a little bit. Yeah, it's looking good. There we go. All right, so now we can fish this cable up through this little front part of the frame here. Get that out of the way. Pull this guy up. Plug it in. And I wonder if it plugs in the other way. Probably plugs in the other way. Come on. Get in there. Get in there. You're not too good for your home, are you? Get in there, yo. Come on. I hate these little plugs. These little JST 0.8 or whatever the hell they are. Pretty sure that's what they are. Ah, there we go. All right, good deal. That's all set. That wire's going to lay nice and flat there. I could run it out there. I'll run it out there like that. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Now I'm going to get one of my little Micro King cover things just to look fancy. You could absolutely just throw 4 screws in there. You'd be good to go. But if we're going to look fancy, if you're not going to fly good, you got to at least look good. And the best way for you to look good... Oh, let's get this garbage antenna off of here. So, oh, hey, and look, here's another unplug of a UFL on the Matrix, and the UFL didn't break off, so that's good. I'm going to use... Hang on. Get some of this crud off of here. There's a bunch of leftover liquid electric tape from the initial antenna that was put on here. I really wish they would stop using liquid electric tape. Use E6000, yo. It's better. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a white ORT Micro V. That'll just look too fucking cool on here. This is actually gonna be like, I'm gonna fly this outside and shit. This is gonna be like the ultimate fucking gorilla whoop as far as I'm concerned, right? Super light, like as lightweight as you're gonna be able to do any build. What else? Other things that are good. You know what I'm saying? This is it. CO3 camera, the best of the analog cameras. Okay, hold on. So let's go Micro King thing. So this is going to sit here, and then I want it to exit out the back. So I'm going to run it through this hole in the very back here. And then this is the ELRS antenna. So I'm going to kind of do the same thing with that. I think I'm going to run it through the same hole, actually. Have it exit all the way in the rear. All right? Now, it's going to go through the middle part because it's not quite long enough. All right, a little bit of an angle on it. And we'll pop it up through there. Well, let's see. Do I want to do it that way? Yeah, no, we'll give it a little bit more there. Cool. There's that. Here's this. Get this UFL plugged in real quick. And I'm gonna let this Micro V hang like way the hell off the back of this, to get it as clear as I possibly can of the PCB. So it's gonna sit all the way back there like that. All right, good deal. Need some screws. And I just cleaned myself up, so I've got 2 here, but there's extended ones I don't really need. So hold on. Let me just grab, what was I using? Thick boys. Yeah, okay. Spiky bastards. There's like 4 different kinds of tiny whoop screws. And I like to try to match them up. And not use 4 different screws in each individual build. And you should do the same. Because that shit's just crazy. To not do this, you become the crazy one. That's just a fact. Okay, so now I should have put these goddamn screws in through the TPU thing first, but these are the pointy screws, so it'll probably be a little bit easier. Oh yeah, way easier. Yeah, there's the I mean, technically there's like 6 different screws because there's also the silver ones, but in terms of like the black screws, there's the ones that are flat on the end. There's the short flat ones. There's the short pointy ones, which is what I'm using here. Yesterday I used short flat. And then there's the slightly longer, slightly thicker pointy ones, which are fun. And maybe there's just 3. Is there a 4th one? I think there's a 4th one. I just can't think of it. There might be a longer, flat-ended one. Kind of forget now. All right, there's that. Yeah, these pointy ones are way easier to get through this 3D printed cover here. All right, last one. And then there's like the extended ones, which are really cool from the Mobula 7. I really like them a lot, but they're kind of like a gray color. They're more of a specialty screw. All right. Look at this fucking thing. Jeez. This looks like an official product right here. This looks like something that could get sold somewhere. Got my fucking colors on here. Red and purple action. Shit. Look at that. All right, let's plug these motors in. So yeah, this is 40,000 kV, man. You rail this around outside. I don't know how this would do with like super hard crashes all the time with the camera up front. I did have Timmons put these like little flower petal looking things on the lens, which should protect the lens quite a bit. They're a subtle little thing that I kind of stole the idea from the camera world. In the camera world, they're used to prevent glare on the lens, but in our world, they work really well. And the reason that you do them top, bottom, left, and right is because in the diagonals, that's where the widest field of view is. And so you can do those top, bottom, left, and right. And the top and bottom, you can do them a little bit bigger, as you can see there, because there's less field of view up and down than left and right. And so, yeah. A little bit of lens protection there. You probably bash the shit. I would not be surprised if you could bash the living shit out of this build and it would be completely fine. But I've just not done it to be able to say for sure. Let's get some props on it. We'll throw it on the scale. Hold on. First, let me put this screw back in that Betafpv canopy because it's a very specific screw. It's probably not. It's probably just an M1.4 by something. Hey, what are we gonna do for props? Let's go. I know what we're doing for props. We're going with the Weebleed Hyper Custom red 1.2 by 0.9s. Where the hell are they? There they are. 1.2 by 0.9 by 3. We've got high right. Give me a high left. There's one. High left, and there's another one. Cool. I'm of course going to need to run these down the pin vise because the motor manufacturers can't decide on a standardization for their motor shafts. Sleepy CBR just joined Patreon for the madness. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated. Let me run this camera because I'm going to do these things here. Bo says, is there a file for the batwing floating around? Yep, it is on my Patreon, my Discord on the 3D printing text channel. There's actually a thread in that 3D printing text channel for the batwing. There's a whole bunch of different versions of it. Just print them all. You can fit them all into one plate. Just print them all, and then you'll figure out which one works best for you. All right, so I spin it on the first shot, and then on the next ones, just push it down. I have to twist it a little bit to get it to kind of come off, but as it removes more material, it gets easier and easier, and like you'll feel it. You'll feel when you've removed enough material, it becomes easy to put on and off, and that's when it's ready to go. That was the one that I just did. I just wanted to make sure I took enough material off of it. Woo! This one is tight. Holy! So this is one of the counterclockwise ones, and it is I am. Wow. I've heard from a couple people I've never noticed this, which is kind of insane, but a couple people have noticed that clockwise versus counterclockwise with certain propellers, the inner diameter will be drastically different between them. I can't believe I've never noticed that. But yeah, that might be a thing with these, because we'll see when I do the next counterclockwise propeller, but I'm having to remove way more material on this one. The first two that I did were both clockwise. And they didn't put up nearly as much of a fight. Boy, would this be hard to do without a nice pin vise back in stock over on my Etsy. All right, let's see. Let's see if this... Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, so wow, these counterclockwise HQ Ultralight props are way tighter inner diameter. Weird, man. Very weird. Oh my god. Just a huge puff of plastic that just came out of that one. Jesus. There we go. Now I've removed enough where I don't have to spin it to get it on there. Holy cow. That was a battle, yo. Okay. That's feeling good. Let me just check this one more time. Okay, now these should be good to go now. Right. Motor 4. Yeah, just right. Motor 1. And I shouldn't need to... I could have taken a little more material off that one. It's all right, though. I shouldn't have to put this into Betaflight. This should just be ready to go. That one was just about right. And
and perfect. Let's see what it weighs. So the TPU up here, the batwing mount is not ultra lightweight. It's way lighter weight than any other method of mounting a camera up front like this. 18.2 grams. Not bad at all. All right. Let's fry it. Set of goggles. VRX. Turn back on the analog VRX here. And away we shall go. Put this transmitter on. And so for like a runtime comparison, I'm going to run a 300 mAh battery on this. Just same one that I was running on the other one, on the HDZero rig. And let's see what the difference is in runtime. This is also on much higher kV motors, right? 40,000. And I'm probably going to fly this a little harder. Is that garbage at the top of the screen there? What's happening? Ah, balls. I didn't turn the transmitter all the way on. What's happening on the top of the screen there? What's that shit about? Power cycle. Let's see if it goes away. Well, that was weird. It's back. Why is it back? Go away. What the hell is that? Is it in the it's not in the goggles. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, it's fine in the goggles. That's strange. Well, now it's gone. What the hell? Let's fly it. Oh, you've got your motors going in the wrong direction. Did I really have this thing props out? What the hell? Wait, let me make sure I put the props on right. I did. Hell. All right, hold on. Hold. Whoa! Quiet down, GoPro. Jeez. I could obviously bring the weight down a little bit by not using the fancy little cover thing, but it really doesn't weigh much. Removing that little Micro King cover, I could probably get it down under 18 grams. It wouldn't surprise me. Connect. Motors. Oh! I need to do all the things. I need to reorder the motors because I rotated the... Oh, I need to do all the things. I need to set this at 180. Because I rotated the... No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. What the hell? No, I did not rotate the AIO around. I rotated the frame around. Weird. I wonder why the hell I was not... I must not have been props in on this. No, I was props in. Strange. I don't know why this thing is not... I don't know why this thing is spinning the motors the wrong way. Whatever. Wizard, start and spin. Away we go. Motor 1 is correct. 2 is correct. 3 is correct. 4 is correct. Whatever. All's well that ends well. There we go. And so this isn't even a fully charged battery anymore. I bet you we still get some really good runtime. Let's see. And we're back. Let me brighten these goggles up a little bit. That's better. Woo! Boy, these motors make some power. So, we're going to fly this like a Cinewhoop. A really powerful Cinewhoop. Flies great. I just heard the dog jump off the couch.
He'll be rounding the corner any second. There he is. Come on, buddy. Follow the tiny whoop. Follow. Good dog. Here he comes. He comes down these stairs like a bowling ball sometimes. It's absolutely outrageous. Woo! I thought maybe I would make it and I could just leave it on the coffee table, but then it's just like, nope. All right, we'll try to shoot all the tiny little gaps. Oh, yeah, here we go. Easy game. That has no momentum because it's so light. Oh, God. We are not getting runtime out of these. Uh-oh. Damn. Let me throw another battery at it. Maybe these 300 mAh batteries that I have right here are just falling on their faces. I don't know. Let's pull this one here. Very weird. Although, yeah, I don't know. Let me take a look at the tune. Let me jump in and look at the tune on this real quick. Do it in the OSD. Thanks for hanging, Sleepy CBR. Let me just real quick look at where the tune is. Oh, this has a wacky tune for the... Yeah, that's not an aggressive tune, though. Let's just see. That's weird. This rig only flies backwards now. What's that about? It won't fly forwards anymore. What? That's super strange. I wonder if it's because I'm sitting it down in the oh my god. I wonder if it's because I'm sitting it down in its own wash really low so much. And all that turbulence from the carpet is making the PID loop have to work hard. Oh my god, Teddy. Oh my god. Go ahead, buddy. Turn sideways. Come on. You know you want to turn sideways. You know you need to turn sideways, buddy. Come on, look. I'll fly under my own legs and then under yours. Uh-oh. You gonna eat it? Come on, buddy. Give me that gap. Give me that schnauzer gap. Let me fly under there. Yeah, right there. Stay right there. Ow! Whoa! Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm getting shit runtime. Look, it's already at 3.66 and it's only 1:40. What the hell? What is the deal with this? The other build with the Runcam Nano 3 got almost 6 minutes. Chasing the little RC drift cars. It is on much lower KV motors, though. I'm going to mess around with this rig tomorrow with motor limiting. I'm going to motor limit this really hard and see what happens. You know what I'm also going to do is I'm going to move motors. I'm going to move those 28,000 kV motors from the rig that gets crazy runtime onto this. And I'm going to move these motors onto that rig. And we'll see. Like, is there something magical about that AIO or that tune? We're over 3 minutes, though. Hey! Didn't need to disarm there. Stop it. 320. Huh. Weird, man. Very weird. More testing is needed, but right now, what I need is food. What a handsome build, though. What a good-looking tiny whoop right there. Got the purple and red action, some of the white in there. It don't fly good, but it looks good. Thanks for hanging, friends. My name is Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. CiottiFPV.com. Support me or I'll die. Here's some more flying for my gig on Sunday morning. Hopefully this... I gotta restabilize that one clip from the beginning of the stream. Where's the window? Oh, man, that drive went offline again. Bye, turds, Mary Bean says. I don't have any flight footage for you. Bye. Wait, no, I have something here. I have something. RC drift stuff. Yeah, there we go. See you guys Wednesday. Bye-bye.